Hey, Dream Chasers. This is Aimee J, your personal hype man and friend, here today to check in with you guys as a new week begins to make sure you're doing all right. We're here. You're here. That's what the world needs. And it is so good to have you here, guys. Seriously, I want to talk to you about something today that is tough during the bad times, easier to do in the good times. And that's finding a purpose in things. Finding a purpose is challenging. And what I mean is everything that happens in your life has a purpose. There's a reason for things to happen. And sometimes, especially when bad things are happening, we're like, oh, I don't know why. Don't know why I'm going through this. There's no reason. There's absolutely no reason for me to be suffering the way I am, for me to have this string of bad luck. And I know it's tough to hear. And if you're going through a bad time, maybe listen to this episode a little later. But everything has a purpose. I'm sorry to have to say that. Everything has a purpose. And it may not be clear. It most likely will not be clear at the moment that it happens. It's not clear when you're going through it. When you're going through it, you're feeling your feelings. You're going through it. You got other things on your mind than why is this happening? You'll ask the question, but you don't have time to decipher it. And you're just like, oh, what is happening right now? And that's an honest reaction. It's understandable. It's not always going to be easy for you to think about why are things happening, but there's usually a reason. There's usually a purpose. When it's good things, we're like, easy, point out, I know why that's happening. That's to help me grow. That's to help me build. That's to help me advance my progress in life. That is a good thing, right? Easy for us to say. But when it's bad, when you're going through the tough times, you don't want to think about that. You don't have time to think about that. So don't. Just know in the back of your mind, there's a reason for what you're going through. And later, after you get through it, after you make it past, and you're still here because you will be here, take some time to think about it. Take some time to look back with open hearts, open minds, and open eyes as to why did you do that? Why did it happen to you? What lessons could come from it? It's the lessons that are usually tied to the purpose. And it's the lessons that we don't want to acknowledge or kind of accept because you're like, oh, but if you can pick that lesson out, if you can pick that purpose for what you went through, that, my friends, that is why you went through it. That was the purpose. That lesson is going to help you later in life. I don't know when. You don't know when. But it's there in your back pocket. It's in your tool belt. And the thing about going through the tough times is sometimes the purpose is to make you stronger. Sometimes it's because your story is one that will help someone else down the road. Sometimes you may never find out what the purpose is because it's so nuanced. It's so ingranulated into what happened that it was for a purpose beyond you. Now, I'm not saying you have to always find out what the purpose is. I just want you to understand that everything has a purpose. We may not always like the purpose, but it is for a reason. So easier to accept in the good times. Absolutely, because it's a good thing. But it also happens in the bad times. And I want to tell you this when it's not a bad time, because then you'll be more accepting of it, right? So keep that in mind, guys. And other thing you got to keep in mind is you are awesome, you are loved, and you are needed. But most importantly, you are enough just the way you are, as you are. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Got that? And if you guys didn't know, that the affirmation that we share is a ringtone. You can find it on Apple ringtones or on the Tune Store, wherever you got it. The link is in the show notes. Let me confirm that real quick. Yep, the link is in the show notes, so go for it. Check that out, and you won't regret it. All right? So till next time, Dream Chaser, remember, don't stop. Keep chasing.